And now a special feature here on Farm Week, and the fact that it comes during the Christmas season makes it that much more special. If you grew up on a farm or ranch, or even if you didn't, you probably know that 4-H plays a monumental role in the lives of many young people here in Mississippi and around the nation as well. But the adults who supervise and mentor them help make that experience even more special in so many ways. You may know there's a National 4-H Hall of Fame. And as it so happens, 2 Mississippians have been inducted. But there's more to that story. And here with that, making his return to Farm Week, is JONAH HOLLAND, himself a longtime veteran of 4-H. As it also turns out, he worked closely with both men now permanently enshrined in that Hall of Fame. JONAH?
Thanks very much, Mike. And yes, 4-H has played a huge role in my life, so when I had the opportunity to do this story, I jumped at the chance. The 2 Mississippians who are now and will forever be a part of the National 4-H Hall of Fame are men I knew very well, Dr. Larry Alexander and Mr. Harvey Gordon. I'm sorry to say that Mr. Gordon has passed away unexpectedly in 2021, but the ceremony honoring both men that took place recently was the first of its kind in Mississippi, and it was an extraordinary and solemn experience for everyone involved. There's no question 4-H plays a formative and enduring role in the lives of so many young people. And it is also safe to say that the 4-H experience, almost always a decade long for them, is made more fun, more complete, and more rewarding forever through the efforts of their adult advisors and mentors. That's certainly true for me, and why the Hall of Fame ceremony meant so much. Harvey Gordon's widow, Ruby Gordon, exemplified the reason with one short tribute.
Trailblazer, always a trailblazer.
Harvey Gordon was from Leland in Washington County, Mississippi. He worked as a 4-H state specialist for Mississippi State University Extension from 1997 until his retirement in 2014. He's no longer with us, but he's described as both a premier leader and a warm, welcoming friend. Those who knew him say that in his 38-year extension career in Arkansas and Mississippi, he saw the struggles of people and wanted to help them become better. Today's ceremony meant so much to Miss Ruby.
It brought back so many memories of him getting up early, staying up late, and really pressing to make sure that the young people that he was involved with were fully equipped for life, not just for today, but for tomorrow. And he always focused on their development. And that meant the world to my children and to myself. The big missing piece is that he is not here, but his children will always, and grandchildren will always, just persevere and try to remember who he was as a trailblazer for 4-H.
Perry Dendy, himself inducted into the National 4-H Hall of Fame in 2011, was on hand for the ceremony. He knew Harvey well.
He was always there. He was always smiling. He was always happy to help. He was just everything you could possibly want or imagine in a 4-H supporter.
So was Linda Mitchell, Extension 4-H coordinator who retired recently with more than 30 years experience. Like many, she wore a lot of hats in 4-H. She spoke highly of Harvey.
Harvey was the man. I mean, every time you saw him, he had a big smile on his face. He was one of the most encouraging people I have ever known. And he did that for everybody, for the young people, for the co-workers, for strangers who didn't even know. You always knew that if you saw Harvey, he was going to be smiling and he was going to be encouraging you to be your best.
Dr. Larry Alexander is from Ruralville, Mississippi. After he graduated from Alcorn State University, he became an integral part of the leadership and development of 4-H, always applying his ability to improve the lives of young and even the not-so-young across the state. For him, today's ceremony was a pivotal moment.
After working in 4-H and Extension for over 38 years, and to be inducted into the National 4-H Hall of Fame really said something about the work that I've done during my career. And a lot of times when we work in 4-H, a lot of times we don't see the value in what we do. We just say it's a routine. But then somebody saw enough to nominate me, and then I was successful in being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Makes you feel really good.
Larry was an employee of the university. A lot of us that worked with him referred to him as Mr. 4-H, because anytime you needed anything out of the 4-H extension work, Larry was the go-to guy. And just really happy to be associated with him, and happy to be a part of establishing the endowment scholarship in his name and in his honor. So that was a great thing for him and for those of us that supported him.
And he's a saint. I mean, he has the biggest heart, and he was always there for everybody who needed him. He was always confident and available. No matter what the time was, he was ready to help.
Needless to say, the reason why there's a National 4-H Hall of Fame is that 4-H is such an essential experience. In Mississippi, it's highly connected to MSU Extension, and Extension's new director, Angus Catshaw, explains why it's such a huge endeavor.
We have about 70,000 youth in the state of Mississippi that's actively involved in 4-H. That's about 14% of all school-age kids in the state of Mississippi, so we have a huge footprint. One of the great things about 4-H is really we are contributing to workforce development. We have kids that come through these programs that are learning leadership skills, they're learning how to be productive citizens, they're learning how to raise livestock, to take responsibility, and it's so much bigger than livestock, but we have every area that you can possibly imagine, from engineering, robotics, leadership. These children, when you meet them and they're coming through the 4-H program, it's amazing the level of maturity they have, the way that they can speak to people, and we are literally contributing to more productive citizens across the state. So it's a wonderful organization, and we're all behind it, and we're trying to grow it as much as we can.
Angus Catshaw is right. 4-H is a wonderful organization. It has a rich history, and it has benefited so many young people over the years, myself included. And if Angus and his team at MSU Extension have anything to say about it, 4-H in Mississippi will continue to grow, and the state itself will benefit in a lot of ways. Workforce development, maturity, creativity, innovation, you name it.
Great story, Jonah. We're so proud of Dr. Alexander and Mr. Gordon, amazing leaders, and we're glad to have you back working with us from time to time.